Multani, and today we will create PagerController. So basically this kind of controller is by default provided by the Android, but for the iOS we don't have this kind of controller. So let's start to create it. And before creation of this kind of UI, we are not going to use any kind of third-party libraries or the port file. We will create this kind of UI by using the stack view. So let's start with create a new project. Okay, single application, interface storyboard and language Swift. I can say a pager controller demo. And here is my new project is ready. Okay, so let's open the storyboard first. And first we will just put two view to make the stack view, right? So let's take a view, that is the first view, and I will take another view, right? So we have a two view. Now what I will do, I will put these two view embedded into the stack view. Okay, so now we have a stack view here. Let's assign the auto layout constraint. So like 0 0 0 bottom, top and left, and height should be, let's say, 75. Okay, so our stack view is ready, but we can see some arrays here. So we have to assign the distribution property of stack view, that is fill equally. Once you do it, your will be gone, right? And space, if you want space, then you have to provide it. First let me just assign some color so we can see the exact how it's working. You see the spaces, right? Let me say 0. So here is two view, right? 1 and 2. Now again I just want to change color of both view. That should be a clear color, because I need to insert two button over here, right? Let me just put the UI button inside the view. Oops. Okay, let's just put it inside this view, and again one more button. So I'll just put inside this. Let's just go inside this one. Okay, now for the both of the button, text color should be as our theme color, let's say indigo. You can take any of the color as your theme, or you can change any colors as per your requirement, right? Now let's say I'm talking about a background color. So background color should be white, right? Now it's time to assign auto layout to each button. 0 0 0 and 0, right? Let's change the name. First tab. Okay, the another one. Second tab. Right now, so we have to provide the auto layout to second UI button. Okay, ready. So initially what we have to do, the behavior is kind of, we have to just underline this button, right? Like first initial selected button is first tab. So just select the first tab and change the bottom auto layout, bottom constraint to 0 to 5. Okay, so you can see here, right? Same here, we will change this one, but not now. We will do it by the time when user click on the button action, right? So let's take a two different UI view, so later we can see there exactly how it look like the bottom area as well. Okay, I will take one view and provide that left right and top bottom. Okay, let's consider some color. So we can say like, okay, you can just have a yellow color. We also have to again take a one UI view, and this should be also have a same top bottom left right 0 0 constraint. Okay, now it should some have a different color, right? So this is also assignment. Okay, now let's make it some bigger button. This look like nicer. Okay, it's time to assigning some property or making some IV outlet and work with code. So I will open the class file and we'll create the IB action. First tab click, second tab click. Okay, now it's time to assigning IB outlet for the view. Okay, I will say this is a view 1 and another say like view 2. So this will be okay. Now what we have to do for this kind of underline below the button, we have to work with the constraint, right? So for the property bottom constraint, I will create the IB outlet for that one. Let's say first bottom constraint, right? Same thing for the second button, second bottom constraint. Okay, so now how can you identify like this button and like from listing constraint, this is the only the bottom. So what you have to do, just select the controller. Okay, and here beside you can just see this one is your bottom area, like a bottom constraint, right? And you also have to assign 5. The same thing for the second button, the second area. But you can also identify by its name. You can see here, right? You can see bottom, top, or whatever, as we already given the constraint, so it just change the name. Otherwise it shows like bottom constraint, right? Okay, so now let's start with some code. Now what we have to do, while first tab is clicked, it means your first view should be visible. So let's make it visible. Okay, and view 2 should be hide. Right? Okay, the same thing when we have to click on the another button. It should be first view should be hide and second view should be display. Just look like this one, right? Now let's have a simulator. I have already 11, so let me run this project. So first I will show you like how this button click will work and which view will appear first and second. Okay, you see. Okay, so now you can see the bottom line is still there, it's not moving to first to second. So for that, what we have to do, okay, remember we already created the constraint, these two constraints. So we have to use for, now we have to work with this one, right? So let's talk about it. Let's say first bottom constraint dot constant like 5.0, and for the second constraint it should be 0. So this means this will create the bottom line for the first button. The same thing, I will just copy and pasting here, so it will save my time. Okay, now this time what I will do, for the second constraint it should be 5, and first constraint it will be 0. Now let's run the project. Okay, you can see now the changes is here, right? So it's quite simple. You just have to understand how the stack view is working. And for this underline of the button, I am using the auto layout, I mean the constraint, and assigning the value for both of the button, right? And for the bottom area, I just took two view, like view 1 and view 2, and just showing in hiding those two. So it's quite simple. We don't have to mess up with the libraries and code file. Just go to this one and you can create numbers of the section as you want. You can also add a third, fourth, and fifth, whatever, because the stack view will manage by itself. Thank you for watching my video. We'll see you soon. Thank you.